live here. Let me move this button here. Not sure what I did and messed up some of my deck, but we'll be all right. All right, hello Trith Academy. If I'm saying that wrong, you'll have to correct me. But here we are. This is the Volskaya match, or Volskaya game from your match this last week. I don't actually know the names of your opponents here. I know some of the players, I just don't know the team. But we have Rothgar on the Diablo, Wizard Beast on the Zeratul, Zankai 2121 on the Jaina, Salty Satyr on the Rhaegar, and Not Dat Pyro on the Leoric. So to me, the combo that you're likely going to set up is VP with APOC and Entomb. So we'll see how that works. Vacuity, Sparhawk, Anyone, Ace, and I don't know how to say the Ming's name, but to me this looks like Fountain Snipers, but I don't know if they, if I've got the names right. Devil's Due on Diablo, so the nice thing about Devil's Due is when you can take fights around globes, you get a ton of healing there, or you can tap and just run to a team fight and feel unkillable. Totem build out of Rhaegar, Frostbolt for Jaina. Oh, she had already used her teleport too. There is part of me that says if we had been ready on that one, she probably would have died. So first thing I want to look at here is really just the idea of soaking. So we could be on this camp 15 seconds ago. Right now we really haven't rotated the main part of our team. We've had our off lanes do the rotating for us, which little bit of WoW lore, HOTS lore for you. Blizzard expected us to play more like how you're playing than what kind of developed with the rotations here. They were not expecting that, but then they also, later in HOTS years, upped the movement speed for everybody. So Salty Satyr, I'm going to rewind here, but know that you can reposition your totem when you take this level 1. So reactivate it. So Diablo gets the charge and flip. She already used her teleport, so you placed your totem, replace it over here just to slow her a little bit more. Maybe we get a kill, maybe we don't, but it's a good practice to have that. Rothgar, your combo was fine as far as grabbing her after she blinked, but if we got to make sure that our damage is ready, and obviously I don't have your comms, so I can't say to that. And if we had gotten Ming on one of these walls instead, she'd probably be dead.
We redesigned our trigger protesters for combat in the Nexus. Prepare to begin field testing.
So we've got a massive experience lead. Let me look at this. So it's from the kill on Blaze. So Not Dat Pyro, great job getting the kill on Blaze. But I do feel like we would have a pretty easy time overall continuing to build this experience lead. So Deckard's actually one of the hardest people to kill there. The good news, we got out of his route, and even though we're hurting, we have the chance to just slip away. Alright. That's experience that they're dropping, but here's some... Well, I suppose actually I don't know who's dropping it. It was probably our experience that we're dropping. Here, let's... Yeah. Now I'm on your side's vision, so we are dropping a fair amount of experience here. I don't mind the idea of letting this potentially go. It looks like our Zeratul kind of cleaning up a bit here, picking off our first 2 kills. But what I want you to work on as far as just simplifying the map for you is, if we have Leoric, let's have Leoric bottom. Leoric's whole goal is to clear bottom and be able to hang out in this area, possibly come and help mid when necessary, and ward this vision when we have teammates taking that camp. If Diablo is around and Diablo is warding the vision, then Leoric can help on the camp. If Diablo is not around, then we don't have any vision tools necessarily. We want the Leoric on the camp. So we're out killing them, and our Zeratul is getting away with slim amounts of health, but hey, anything over 0 and we're happy that he got away. So right here, if Diablo's low and our squishies need to reset, it's okay if we give some channel, because we're so close to 10s. Do I think it's foolish that they were fighting 4v5? Yeah, but they also were getting a fair amount of damage on us. So Zeratul coming up here and getting us 10 and us sitting tight, great. We're okay with that. Oh, Might of the Nerazim. Alright, so good APOC combo. That was executed extremely well. Even with the stun from the Mei, Deckard goes down. Your enemies really should stop fighting you at this point, because you have healer advantage. You still have at least Might as far as an ult, though they may not know that, but you're up at least 4% in damage, but you also have healer advantage. So it was smart of them to boogie out. Okay, I want to see what you do here. I have an idea on what you should do, but I want to see what we pull off. Okay, so what I want you to do next time here, getting some permanent damage in on the fort, great. But Li Ming is also getting free permanent damage up here on our fort wall. Ooh, Vala went down, but just barely. Alright, it worked out better than I would have hoped, but one thing I would like you to do, just to set up kind of the macro presence of the map that you're trying to go for. So micro's a lot of fun, right? Winning team fights is great, but macro experience is one of the most important things that you can have, because even though the biggest predictor of winning a game right now is whichever team spends less time dead, you can spend less time dead by taking fights on your terms, meaning that you have a macro advantage and they have to respond to something that is unfavorable for them, which is favorable for you. So now you're able to have easier micro fights because of macro presence that you've built. Good job not letting the cat out of the bag here, staying hidden. Okay, so we're going to see how this team fight turns out, and then I'm going to talk about what I was getting to. Oh, big APOC combo. Great stop on the Deckard. Deckard goes down. Zeratul thankfully can potentially blink out. That was tough. It was a good attempt at a juke. Ultimately, Mei had a decent flank and got you there. And we still won the trade, so we'll take that. Okay. As I was about to say, what I'd like to see you do next time with the Triglav is take this wall and then just move on. Take the wall up here. Or you can take the mid wall and then go bottom. So bottom is quote-unquote your win condition lane here, because most of the time you're not going to win with the second Triglav, you're going to win on the third Triglav or later. And so by creating a position where you're setting up your win condition of, we're going to take out here, we're going to work on this, the next Triglav we're going to potentially get more, and then finally if we have a fight over the third Triglav and we removed their ability to tap because we've killed that fort, all good things. So it's that long-term perspective. Now sometimes we take short-term gains because we're trying to win off of inches, yes. But you snap that Triglav, first Triglav if you get it, you take the wall out here, and then you go down and take this wall out, setting up for that. The old meta, if you will, was often to come up here and snipe this fountain. Blizzard took away that by having the fountain health transferred into the fort, and the fountain became invulnerable. I liked the old strategies of having the fountain be vulnerable, but apparently there was enough complaining about fountain sniping. So, alright. So right now we've got a pretty massive macro lead. I don't know if Leoric actually makes it out of this. I think had we dropped the Entomb a little bit earlier, perhaps it would have stopped people. Right there, you probably just wanted to run for the gate and see how far you can make it. I really like the call to trade here. We have Leoric providing vision. Our siege is not terrible. Let's see, what did Jaina go? Jaina's Ice Fury wand, so her perpetual siege is actually really good. Diablo is full souls, so we have, hey, Sultry Satyr. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied there saying your name, but thanks for being here. So, but we, and if I'm saying this wrong, I apologize, but Zankai2121, thank you for being here too. So we've built up this macro lead right now. We're ahead by 2.5 levels, which gives us 8% additional health and damage in a team fight. And right now, ooh, the May was clever there. I don't know if she saw you, Wizard Beast, or not, but good job killing the Vala. 1, she's auto attack. 2, she's just a glass cannon type of character that can hurt us quite a bit, being as we have triple frontline. The Zeratul into this team is very strong because we have very immobile with Deckard, or very squishy with 2 glass cannons, and she even took glass cannon. If we were coaching the other team, power to the pineapples. Thanks. I don't know who power to the pineapples might be, so we're going to guess that you're Pyro. There we go. We guessed right. Well, you know, I had a 40% of it I already knew the answer to because y'all were there. So here we have a choice to make. We can bang on top keep, which I think is a great choice. We can also go for bottom fort. Where you've already taken out the wall and you're still up talent tiers, I like this call to just go for it. Alright, so Zeratul, you're driving right here. One thing that they don't necessarily tell you, and there's not really a tooltip for it, but the Power Glove from the Triglav, I don't actually know what the ability's called anymore because I always call it Power Glove, but the Power Glove one-shots minions. Right there it caught May, so you didn't get to see it, but had it hit the minions first, the minions would have died. So as you're walking up to the keep, you were meleeing minions down. You actually could have Power Gloved them and had the Power Glove hit the keep. Alright. Now the keep's gone. That was an excellent attempt, Rothgar, to bang them into the the keep there. Oh, Zankai, sorry, you're toasted. Ming goes down. Mei is pretty tanky. One thing that always made me laugh is Mei has more health than a Nubarak. Mei is not a very large person. She's wearing a very big suit. A Nubarak is the size of a 3-story building. Mei has more health. So this should just be the end call. We wiped them, the cores got open. Yeah, perfect. Whoever's doing the pinging, good pinging. Okay. Okay. I like your build, Leoric. Oh, Life Leech with Devil's Due. I don't hate that. I actually prefer auto attack build, even though it's not the meta build, quote unquote. Okay. Yeah, I think you could have gone with any of the level 1s. Obviously, we won pretty handily. We had 3 deaths total, and one of them was Leoric, one of them was Zeratul, one of them was Jaina. Not a big deal. Okay, so I'm going to load up a custom game really quick. If for the 3 of you that are here, I don't know if you exist in. Oh, I got a message. I don't know if you have the CCS Discord, but if you would like, I'm going to post said Discord into the chat here, and you could actually jump into the call if you would like. I am currently in the Watch Party voice channel. Okay, good news, Volskaya has a sandbox mode. So we're going to jump into sandbox mode. It's going to be just me for a second. Apparently I'm Garrosh today. Doesn't actually matter who I am or who I chose here. Downloading. HOTS is the most patched Blizzard game,
Well,
don't you know? Hello.
Hello.
All right.
oh god, it's
I see
have both
X
the-
and
the
N is
stream
all
open.
because
Oh,
I've
no.
got streamer mode on. But thanks for being here. First
Yeah,
letter
good
people.
to be here.
Well, thanks for the coaching.
Yeah,
Oh,
straight up, man.
I'm in here. Hi.
Hi.
I
Yeah,
didn't know the
the
Discord immediately.
invite was directly into this channel. In
Oh
fact.
wow,
Right.
that caught me off guard. I thought it was just a stream, and then I like muted the stream at the top bar, and I looked over, and I was like, I'm still hearing everyone. That's weird.
Okay, so just a second, and we'll have this game going. All right, so I can turn on Discord streaming too here just a second. Stream Heroes of the Storm. All right, so now you will be able to see in Discord as well. Let me go back here. All right. Perfect. So sandbox mode, I wish it existed for all of the maps, because now, boom, there's my Triglove. So here is Power Glove, known as Rocket Fist. You saw 3 minions gone.
Holy.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I can't believe I never noticed that.
Right.
Well, it does say it instantly kills minions in its path, but the trick is there's no way except when you're in the Triglove to find that information.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
That's cool.
Now, what I mentioned in the broadcast, I don't know if you were there yet, but what I would love to see you do with the first Triglove is just bring it here, snap. Oh, all right. Well, my Triglove died. Let's see. Give me another one. With your first Triglove, you got the fort, which is huge, but you won't always be able to do that. You got the Vala kill, which was great. This is a level 2 Triglove, so it kind of sucks. But a level 7-ish Triglove, which is where you typically are getting it, is going to be far stronger. And so we're just going to soak up the experience there, and we're going to move on. The reason why is we have Leoric on our team. We also have Zeratul on our team. And what we want to do is, by rather than staying in the mid lane, we want to pick one of the far lanes. And we want Leoric to double soak. Their team is naturally going to jump on the Triglav. That's just
Well
a
done.
normal thing, that it's the objective, everybody focuses on it. If a Triglav is ignored, it can do quite a bit of siege damage. And so by having Leoric go top mid, and bouncing back and forth, we're going to leverage that experience lead even more. The reason why we won that game so handily was the experience lead we had, but if we can build that up even more, you're going to find that matches end quicker, you're going to have team fights that are easier, and you're going to catapult forward. Plain and simple. Um,
Oh yeah.
as far as like game knowledge stuff, because you said, oh, I didn't know that. Heroes does give you a wealth of knowledge out there. The hard part is finding a lot of it. So that tooltip was there, but I can't go into the collection and read tooltips for the Triglav or for the Garden Tears or for the Cavalry, right? And so there's not a great place to do that, is the difficult part. For a hero, sure, I can come and I can read every tooltip for May. I can come in here and read all of her abilities and talents. Although sometimes tooltips have language that is not consistent. Um, this is going to sound like a really weird way to talk about this, but if you look at the Holy Bible, in the Holy Bible, you have a collection of books, Bible, bibliotheca, library, written by different speakers. And so if you were to compare the writings of Paul with the writings of John in the New Testament, those are going to be different because there's two different writers. Okay, now, even though Heroes has not existed the same length as the Holy Bible, Heroes has 9 years of history plus. 9 years that we know about, because that's when we could play it, was for the last 9-10 years. But during that time, how many writers have written tooltips? I don't even know. But at one point, the Heroes of the Storm team was the largest team in all of Blizzard. Larger than WoW, larger than Diablo. So much money was being poured into Heroes because they were churning out heroes every 3 weeks. They had HGC broadcasts. They had community managers. They had so many people focused on Heroes. And they just ended up assigning more people and more people and more people. Well, unfortunately, that leaves us with some times where things just aren't naturally written the same, because what if you had 10 writers, right? And so there's some tooltips that just don't quite add up. And so there's a whole ton of knowledge. On my phone, I'm not the developer of this app, but I use it all the time. I have an app called, and you'll see it on stream, but this is the HOTS Complete app. And you can go in there, and it has every hero, and you can scroll through it. We're going to pick one, maybe.
Oh, that's cool.
We picked Garrosh. That's funny. I could probably quote to you all of the tooltips on Garrosh anyway. But you can see all the tooltips, you can see all the talents, you can see popular builds, you can even have your own builds, but that's when mine crashed. I don't think the app's been updated for a while. Granted, Heroes hasn't been updated for a while, but there's just so much. Now, you can also go and search Heroes of the Storm wiki, find a bunch of stuff there, but yeah, there is loads of things that are just, it's not super easy to find. and there's not a way to perfect that. It's one of the reasons why one tricks tend to be powerful, because they've finally learned everything about a singular hero.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Fizzy, Kerrigan, Salty Satyr, Rhaegar, Wizard Beast, Nazebo, Zankai, Varian, Pyro is back on the Leoric.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know how draft went, but I feel like their draft is very difficult to execute. The most difficult part of our draft is the Kerrigan, but everything else is relatively simple. They have.
We were actually going around the Kerrigan.
Say again.
We were going around the Kerrigan. That was, I believe, one of our main points.
I think
in
we
draft.
wanted Stukov Kerrigan at first, but they took Stukov.
Yeah, and so Diablo is a more difficult tank than Varian, for the simple fact that Diablo doesn't stun if he doesn't hit a wall. Varian taunt is a point-click silence, and so he just gets it, right? Kerrigan, while all of her stuff is skill shots with the exception of her jump, the fact that Varian's going to have it already sitting in place for you means that Kerrigan's going to hit a lot more. Alright, Stukov. I don't actually know. Let's see. Does Lurking Arm... Yeah. Non-structure enemies. I was going to say, I don't think it's doing anything to the structure. And it, in fact, wasn't. Okay. Last time I think I talked a little bit about the idea of stick and move. And you hear me reference that from time to time. The 4-man rotation is a little bit more difficult here. Just, oh, Diablo's going to take so much damage. Because of the Bermuda Triangle here. So it's more difficult. We can control the Bermuda Triangle. This is actually my favorite map for main tank Uther because of the Bermuda Triangle. Uther and Kerrigan together, I think, just get to run this area, but it is unfortunately something that can be countered to. But it's a lot of fun in my opinion. So it's harder to rotate. Now, Leoric is really good at double soaking. We kind of want Naz to hit more waves because of how Naz works. Wizard Beast, I don't know if you're on the call yet, and that's okay. I don't know how familiar you are with like College Humor and stuff, but there's a thing about how David Attenborough hates toads. When it comes to Naz, I hate toads. It's fine, but I think it is similar to how we talked about the drafts are different. Toads is the most difficult form of Nazebo. You can absolutely carry games as Toads. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't, but it is the most difficult Nazebo. If you're not going to get the slow from spiders on Deathwing, but you're going to stack spiders ridiculously fast on Deathwing. And even though you don't get the slow, Deathwing is not particularly mobile himself, and you would get that. So had you been to redo that one, I like that you threw the basket first, which is what we call the... Ooh, he dies, right? Yeah, okay. I like that you threw the zombie wall first and just locked Raynor up in the basket. So if you're ever watching my team and you hear us talk about the basket or the canasta, canasta is just Spanish for basket, and so that is us screaming about somebody's caught in the Nazebo wall. It's one of the original terrain creators in the game, and it works out incredibly well. Yeah, they're gonna struggle a little bit here because of Deathwing's delay and Deathwing's lack of mobility. Deathwing can be a very good counter to Kerrigan because her stuff just doesn't work on him. That was overly ambitious by Diablo. I like the choice to go safe because you didn't see the enemy team. Yeah, the Stukov Varian Kerrigan would have worked very well.
Yeah, we've been trying to work on it.
I struggle with it. I get too far ahead of my brother, who's our healer, and then all of a sudden, now the combo's not working. So
It's easy to do that.
So big damage onto the Durgan there. I don't know that we cap. Oh, maybe. So Fizzy, I don't know if you're in here. Next time, you want to have no fear of that Rainer whatsoever, and you were goalkeeping somewhat, or gatekeeping actually, is what I mean. But if he uses his penetrating shot on you, it means that he can no longer use it to interrupt the Rhaegar channeling, and so he's not gonna do that. And if he does, you won, because he has to walk past you. Jimmy, Greater Lane Minion Rainer, literally has no way to get past.
That is a beautiful name for him. Oh my god.
Okay, so right there, we probably get the kills, but the only reason we didn't get the kills faster is we just need to be screaming about which target we're hitting. So if our engage is Varian is just saying Rainer, 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 Rainer over and over again until everybody is chanting Rainer, 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 Rainer. Because then we know that everybody's hitting Rainer, right? It's pretty hard to miss that.
I will say, I was doing that on Leo a whole lot.
That's great.
Just because you mentioned it.
Right here, Leo, we only have numbers in a 5v4 if you're there.
Okay.
So I appreciate you being the trash man, cleaning up all the minions, making sure there's nothing left on the map. That's a great thing. But if we're looking at an invade and we've got a fair, reasonable assumption that they're there, it only works if we have the numbers advantage.
Gotcha.
So, and it happens to all of us. I've offlane before. My offlane does it sometimes, where you get so focused on, but my lanes. The great news about heroes, correct me if I'm wrong, but the odds of your mom coming in and saying, Pyro, your room's dirty, I can't believe you left the lanes so unclean, are extremely low. So there's times where you leave your room dirty, and that's okay, because if we had with that engaged, now we're going to talk about that camp in a different way in a second, but if the call is that camp and we were going on it and we go on it as 5, they don't get to push us out. We have unstoppable with the Leoric, and we had numbers because I'm pretty sure Rexar was dead at that point. Okay, now so a lot of maps have this problem, but Dragonshire in particular. This is one of the lowest value camps that you can invade in the game, because it stops right here in the bush, and the person can just sit here and clear it from their tower. Now, if it's left unattended, ooh boy, is it going to get so much value. But normally, that's not the case. They're going to clear it for free. So, last time, I'm almost certain I said this, but if I didn't, that would amaze me. We talk about the idea of we do dangerous things when it's safe, and we do safe things when it's dangerous. So, yeah, get wrecked, Stukov. And so, if we're gonna be in this channel with a fire-breathing dragon, that seems kind of dangerous. So we're only gonna do a dangerous thing when it's safe. And in this case, that means all 5 of us are going to be there, and literally our giant killer hero, because that's why we drafted Leoric, our giant killer hero would just drain hope on the dragon, and now Deathwing's got to go, right? And if he was there, and say for example they start to back out, and we drop an entomb right here, well now the only person who can close the distance, I mean, maybe Deathwing ults for it. That would be incredibly stupid. But the only person who can basic ability close the distance is Diablo. We hope that he comes in. We got no problem with that. We will show him how quickly we can destroy the Lord of Terror. This is going to be like normal difficulty on farm. We're just there for the achievement. So right now we're about to hit 16. We don't want to engage anything until we're 16. Oh, Sparhawk, you're toast. You don't have a prayer. Even if he had Feign Death ready to go, which he's not to that level yet, he was so far out. So we're going to flip this for a second. Imagine you're the blue team. You are down talents. You're down 1 fort top lane. How are you going to get to 16 and not lose the game? Because it's real easy to look at a game that we're already winning and be like, oh yeah, let me pat myself on the back while I win more. It's way more difficult to look and see, okay, what can I do that brings me back into the game? At first, I thought they had us outnumbered, and I was like, well, Fizzy's just going ham, because why not? Obviously, I don't have comms. Maybe the whole time we were setting up with somebody flanking, things like that. Yeah, Ace is gone. Ace shouldn't have even used the ult, because now he's not going to have it when he comes back. Right now, okay, there's a talk that they talk about in my church, that's the idea of lift where you stand, which essentially is like, hey, just do some good where you are, right? You don't have to feel like you got to cross the ocean to do good. If you can do some good right here where you are, just do it. So right there, we had 4 of us here, and we decided to run around, and because the 5th one was here with the Dragon Knight. We ran because we were afraid of the Bridge of Death, I don't know. But we ran around here to hit this wall, and we got a little bit of chip damage, don't get me wrong. But if we just pushed in here while we knew, because we had vision of them, because the DK was, you know, big tall guy watching them. If we just rip down these towers, they have to make a choice. Do we defend the DK bottom, or do we defend the push top? Now, the odds of us winning the game through top are admittedly low. That's just one of the rare thing in HOTS, winning top lane through in Dragonshire. But if we make it that much less safe for their offlaner, we now have more control of the game. And even though these towers don't look like much, they're still each worth 125 experience. Oh man, that Pyro's still alive there. Fizzy? Oh, it was close, Fizzy. I was rooting for that heal to hit you. Alright, we are in full retreat. In this scenario, just let Pyro tank for us as we leave. That was a really good basket to get them off of our case, but we are in full retreat mode. Don't even turn and throw the spiders there. As soon as the weighted pustule, that's what it's called. As soon as the weighted pustule missed you, just keep running. The only time we have to turn and hit them with anything is if we see that they've mounted. Now during this whole time, that camp took this whole fort. So the good news is, even if they take the DK, I was going to say just entomb him. Perfect. Rexar, Valiant, totally dead. That was a smart play on the frogs. We gave up the chase because we assumed it was dead. I get it, right? Conservation of energy. We wanted to go do something else on the map. However, there's also something to be said of just punch him in the face till you know that he's knocked out. And this camp, still going. We've never cleared the camp. Alright. They're going to be able to push us back. We don't have a tank. Oh. The nice thing is, we can play Ring Around the Rosie. If Fizz, just go in, because your team sees everything else. Combo him. Oh. Put the Ultralisk in the right spot. Dang it. Alright, you got him. And up here we won. So let's come back, because we really shouldn't have won 2 fights down our tank. Oh yeah, they let us silence Entomb. And then he just ate all the toads. Alright, so if you're the blue team here, and you have this, for one, you don't want Leoric to be able to make the first move. And for two, and you just showed Raynor and Diablo came out of the bush, and there's red minions right here. Guaranteed those guys set alarm, you know. Oh, I didn't mean to hit B. Alright, we're going back again. I meant to hit P for unpause. Alright, so Diablo dangled the bait. We got another 15 seconds here. Okay. So, right here, the one mistake you make here that doesn't get punished, Pyro, is you didn't check the bush. You literally have an unstop, and it's available. You also have a ranged ability that, while losing it on a 10-second cooldown might feel sad, you can spend that. We know that because we saw the Deathwing go north, and we see the Rexar south. We know where some of them are. We don't know where all of them are. And we have a reasonable expectation that they're going to be around the DK because they want to channel it. Because we're outnumbered, we uptick the idea that maybe they're in the bush on our side instead of on their side. So, alright, but if you're the blue team, you have Diablo position up here, so as soon as the Leoric gets close enough, you wallbang him onto this side. Leoric cannot cast his Wraithwalk while he is stunned on that wall, and you then have the Stukov drop his Silence Puddle so that he takes additional damage, and now it's more likely that the Leoric is going to run away, but you don't make it so that he can hit all 3 of you with a Silence Entomb. So good body blocks, lots of toads. David Attenborough hates toads. Apparently so does Diablo. Okay, here, now that we just killed him, Deathwing's in the air. Our reasonable expectation now is that Deathwing is going to try to land either bottom or mid. We send Leoric top because he's the most self-sufficient, non-gankable person. Oh, they were being too cautious there. Alright, so now we look at the scenario. We have no wall here. We have walls in the other two. We need to look at the death timers and say, do we think we're going to end through bottom? I don't know if we are or not. If we're not going to end bottom, then let's just run it at mid, it's closest, take these walls, start opening up the area. Dragonshire does have one of the most obnoxious core areas. Oh, Silence and Tomb, Silence and Tomb. Oh, Raynor got a good pushback. Yeah, you're just getting drilled by the keep, so that's tough. Oh, we didn't get the keep. That's unfortunate. Good unstop. Okay,
So close.
couple of ideas here. One, this is 174 health. This is something that if we lost the game because of 174 health, we would be super sad. My closest lost, I lost the game by 8 health on the core. 8 health. So, there's times, alright, good work. X came in and got it. But there's times where we just need to say, all on buildings, or on structures or something. The protected looked great for a second there. Right here, they just hit 20. We just need to evaluate ults. So Rhaegar was not able to use ult there because 100-second cooldown. It's not been 70 seconds since we were there. So if we're missing some key components, we want to look at what is our easiest way to dash in and out. And it's probably spiders. We run up, rather than having Varian charge the building, we throw spiders at the building, we throw zombie wall at the building. We're not going to throw toads because toads suck and take too long to get there. They might hit a minion on accident. A hero might absorb them now that you're already stacked, just to try to save the building. But we send something that's going to be guaranteed damage on the building, and Nazebo is our only ranged. Though really, we could have taken it out because just the bonus damage on Lion's Fang from Lion's Maw would have killed it. So don't charge the building. That's bad news. Because, again, we're in one of the most difficult core areas. It's very tight. It stuns. There's another keep up. All bad things for us. We have entered the game state now, because both teams are level 20, where it's literally a coin flip. Ooh, I like this. I like this. I like it more if we stay in the bush, but Deathwing's getting out of dodge. Yeah, so right there, as everybody said, Leoric, we saw Pyro, we saw Fizz jump on the Stukov. That's great. Wizard Beast, you are wicked forward. I am amazed that you are not dead, but was that dying breath? It was. Nice. Alright, well, bad news for us. They got equal numbers of kills, and Diablo rezzed, so having a death trait, not all bad. Good news for us, we still have a simple combo that we can execute on any of their heroes, and they don't have a healer. Now, if we see that someone's channeling here, like, we just run at them. Wizard will talk about Vital Infection's a fine talent. I don't have any problem with that. But we're 5 minutes-ish past hit when we hit level 20, and we haven't capped it, which means that we either have times where we should be focusing stacks and we're not, or where we just are not We're not executing the micro of getting stacks. I actually think it would have been okay there to let them have the DK, and especially right now because we had Wizard come up and claim some stacks here. Now we don't have Silence and Tomb. Now it's a super short cooldown. It's 50 seconds. It's not a big deal. But if we just let them have it, we get Vile Infection. Like, this game is on a timer for them, not for us. Our heroes all stack. Well, shouldn't say all stack. We have the infinite stacking hero in Nazeebo. They do not. Yeah, Wizard came up here to finish this off. That's fine. This is super risky to have come this way. Varian might die. Because a good dragon boot to the face might have spelled doom. Thankfully for us, now we can't rely on this next statement, but thankfully for us, the enemy team was still in a bit of a panic mode, and so they didn't execute perfectly. We don't want to have our plans be that the enemy team doesn't execute perfectly. That's a very scary thought. We want to have win conditions that rely on our excellence, not their mistakes. Oh, I didn't mean to click on the Diablo. 5 seconds on Silence and Tomb. You should be Wraith walking forward and just popping it. But it's okay. Like, the map state is still officially in our favor. Okay, Wraith walk and and the accidental spray too. Oh, what? Frenzy of Kalimdor? I don't like that talent in this case. So upgraded Boar's roots. And if everybody was rooted there, I mean, someone's gonna probably die. Oh, Deathwing dies? Yeah. Alright, and now that Deathwing's dead, now we committed the ult. Okay, Raynor dies. Everybody's screaming Raynor. Raynor dies. Perfect. We got the big ult. Everybody's screaming Stukov. Everyone's just murder that guy. We're just screaming about it.
Yeah.
Even if it's the bear. Kill the bear.
I think we actually did scream Misha at one point. I think that did happen.
See, and that's great. Just the idea of comms and screaming to each other and getting excited will win you more matches than you can imagine. I realize that sounds like, oh yeah, we're gonna kumbaya our way to victory. I get it. But if you are just amped up and screaming, so some CCS history. CCS is my team. My nephew RTB used to play with us, and this was one thing that I loved playing with RTB for, because he was very good at getting us to amp up our comms, and so we would be screaming things like "kill all nerds," or we would scream things like, and this one's going to sound a little silly, but our retreat was "run for it, Marty," right? Back to the Future, first one. So we would all start screaming, "Run for it, Marty!" And now everybody's backing up. And "kill all nerds," like we're just going. And I think my F8 key is coming off. Alright, well, fixed. But just that idea of getting that frenetic energy. Now, are there times where we overchase? Sure, that happens. Whoever is the healer, it's kind of your job to stop the overchases. So in the last 2 matches, it was Satyr, Sultry Satyr. And so, so basic comms, I guess, to lay this foundation. The offlaner's comms are generally going to be fairly boring. Your comms are going to sound very chore-like, and that is rotating top, Rexar missing, cleaning wave, taking camp. Like it's going to be a lot of just report in. The damage dealers, you are going to have a couple things that you want to say, and one of those is going to be whatever your major cooldown is. If you're Jaina and it's Blizzard, you're going to say Blizzard ready. If it is, you are Li Ming, you're going to say I have Orb ready. And you're just, whatever your major cooldown is to kill the enemy, you're going to say, is it ready or is it not? Blizzard down, Blizzard ready, Blizzard down, Blizzard ready. And it's going to sound really stupid, but that's like the first part of damage comms. The second part is the idea of, am I moving forward slowly or quickly? And so what I would recommend to you there is, if you're auto attacking Stukov, you're going to say on Stukov. If you are throwing all your buttons at Stukov, then you say kill Stukov. You just start screaming Stukov, 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 Stukov type of thing. And you could also say all in core, all in Stukov, all in whatever, which is saying I'm pushing all my buttons, all my damage is going to be released in the next 3 seconds. We better kill that target. So there's your damage. Your tank, who's going to spend a lot... Tanking in some cases sounds boring, because if your numbers are to where you're the top damage as the tank, it probably means that you're not actually tanking. So you're going to spend time in the bushes, and you're going to say warding front bush, anchoring bush, however you want to call it. You're going to say who you can see. You're going to look at the mini-map. You're going to look at your field of vision. I see Diablo. Diablo mid, Diablo bottom, Diablo top. They're on camp. You're then going to try to give confirmation as far as you're going to predict the future. I'm looking for Squishy. If I see Stukov, I'm going to charge and taunt Stukov. And you're going to say that just over and over and over again. And you're going to say if something looks good, you're going to say if something looks bad. If it looks bad, you're just going to say looks bad. If it looks good, you're going to say going on Stukov or something along those lines. And then as the healer, your job becomes then the major cooldowns. If we're moving forward, but you say, we don't have 4 of our ults, you can say that. Your job is to pump the brakes, because you're the one trying to keep these 5 reckless kids alive, including yourself. And so if you notice, I don't have cooldowns, I don't have ancestral, we're running into this just hoping our auto attacks win the fight, you can say, we don't have ancestral. So you're looking at the major cooldowns, just like the damage is looking at their big minor cooldowns. And so we don't have Entomb, we don't have Ancestral, we don't have Taunt, we don't have Ultralisk, and we don't have Gargantuan in the last fight. And so we're saying that over and over again, and it's, as the healer, we get to pump the brakes. But if you're part of a kill combo, like say you're Tyrande with Lunar Flare, you're Stukov with Lurking Arm, you have to make sure that you talk about having that cooldown ready too. But if it's something that swings a fight like Ancestral, we absolutely want to be communicating that idea of, oh, Ancestral's ready. No, Ancestral's not ready. And as the healer, we can also talk about the idea of, we're up talent tiers, we're down talent tiers. And so it's the healer very much gets to be mom and dad of,
Yo.
we get to say, yep, you've got permission to go smash your face against that wall, tank, because I know I can save you with Ancestral, Leap of Faith, Divine Palm, Divine Shield, whatever, because I'm ready to go and I see you. So that's kind of where we can play as as the healer and pump the brakes. And so just that idea can be pretty massive as we work on those. So you won. It was a great thing that we won. My challenge to you for the week would be to just practice those basic comms, even if it's in quick match or ARAM or whatever. I don't recommend ARAM because now you're role swapping probably more than you want to. But if you can quick match, Storm League, whatever, custom games in scrims and work on that, it's gonna feel awkward at first. I get that. But as you get to the point where now you're winning fights and you're just screaming Stukov, 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 Rainer, 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 and you have permission from the healer and you have engage from the tank and you have cooldowns from the DPS, and one thing that I didn't talk about with the offlaner is you also have to say when you're coming in. Like, oh, I'm ahead of the Rexar for this team fight. So I'm coming in, Entomb's ready, let's lock and load. And so, but as you work on those things, and you'll find that it builds this positive energy, and that energy is going to help you be gutsy when you need to be. It's going to help you be controlled when you need to be, and it's going to help you focus team fights. Because some of the biggest things that you can do to move from bronze, silver, gold to platinum, diamond, master is focus fire. If you look at some of the comps that they run, whether it was HGC or CCL or Storm Division or anything like that, they run some comps that we would look at and think that's kind of strange. But they're so good at putting all of their damage into one target that the target dies. And boom, they won the team fight and they back up and they don't overextend to the same level that we often do. And so just that idea of upping the comms, we'll talk more about particular maps and things like that, but just the idea of having that direction on the comms, you're going to be amazed at the level that makes. I would say as you work on it within a single month's time, obviously this depends on how much you play, but if you can devote that attention to it in a single month's time, your rank will improve at least 2 rank levels. So if you're gold 5, that means you're becoming gold 3 as a team, just because of that idea of the proper communications.
Awesome.
Apparently I've got an ad break coming on Twitch, but yeah, but it's a lot of fun. And to show you, if anybody's still looking here, so this is going to be my lifetime going through ranks here. Preseason doesn't really matter. Like 13's actually ridiculously bad because loads of people just hit rank 1. But as you go through, I was silver for a fair amount of time. I remember hitting platinum for the first time and feeling like, all right, I got this. And so it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't even really matter where you finish, but it doesn't matter where you are. You keep working on it, and you're going to progress, and you're going to find that there's going to be a time where you hit that goal. If your goal is to hit diamond, great. You're going to make it if you keep plugging away. Let's see. I think this one's probably my highest. So during COVID lockdown was probably my peak, and I made it to where I was like 11 games from master at that point. And now I don't know that I'll ever hit master because the queue post diamond gets really wonky. But I have an account right now that's in diamond. It's funny when people yell at me for smurfing. I'm like, well, I'm literally smurfing up, so I don't know what to tell you. You know, I have my current account that is in the middle of plat. It's where I play most of my games, but every once in a while I solo, and I'm on an account that puts me into diamond. But as you focus on some of those basics, and as we keep going, we'll talk more about specific maps and strategies there. But right now, you won, you did well. Keep riding that high and use it to develop the proper communication. And again, you'll be surprised at just how much you jump in a short period. That is the low-hanging fruit of competitive play, is comms. So, but that's probably going to end our broadcast here. It's decently late. I should probably go try to get to bed. Let's see who we can raid.
Very much appreciated. Sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
very useful.
Yeah, let's see.
After watching your last video, I think we already had like a drastic improvement.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll have to forgive me. Some of this just comes with being an insomniac, and some of this comes from just working a fair amount and such, but I don't remember most of what I said in the last video.
Wizard was saying you were both very, very tired.
Yeah, it was like 2 in the morning for me. I have like no recollection.
Well, it was all very good insights that
Yeah, it was
won
good
us
insights.
another game.
Well, good. I hope it wins you more and more. There's a lot of fun to be had out there. And yeah, well, we can take a look at more.